This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Happy Wednesday, folks. It's great to be back here again, and week's running pretty fast. Great weather, great times, and great rates, I have to say. Interest rates, 50-year lows, fours to the threes even. So you're looking at 4% rates, even 3% rates on a 15-year term or 10-year term. And, folks, I am very excited about the fact that when it comes to saving money, I'm all about that, and when it comes to giving advice or even getting advice. So I do look forward to your phone calls, your emails, and you can always get a hold of us with our website, Mohsin, M-O-H-S-I-N, mortgage.com. And we have Facebook and Twitter, so I look forward to all the questions that you have on your finances and savings. And it's always wonderful to see you, Bob. How are you?
Oh, I'm all a-twittering. It's good to see you too, Sarah. 1-800-662-9550 is the number we love to share with you. When you're listening to the Mohsin Mortgage Corporation program, we want you to know that you can make a call to the Mohsin Company and be very glad you did. 1-800-662-9550. Remember, the worst question in the world, and Sarah stressed this before, is the one that doesn't get asked. So call 1-800-662-9550 with any mortgage question you have. And I have one, and that is about the sobering news about the way people have been spending.
Well, the big thing is it's not only the way they're spending, but there are ways to find great savings while you're still spending and making sure that you're spending on things that are going to add value. I know that we tend to just focus on, heading out there and purchasing items that may actually not be of any purpose. It's just distractions or things that you would see on the fly and then bring it home. But one of the most intriguing things that you and I are going to be talking about is the fat wallet syndrome, which is out of all of the things that have happened in our day and age and with technology and the iPhone and the iPad, the wallet has not disappeared, Bob. It's still there. It's the oldest handheld device.
I love that. It's the oldest handheld. What happened to the club?
I know. What did happen to the club? I think they're still using it.
Well, I think that's how we got other people to give up their wallets if they were silly enough to show them in the cave.
Well, it truly has managed to stick around. They haven't found a way to replace it or get rid of it. And the interesting fact behind the wallet is that it is getting fatter and fatter. So the reason being that literally the average American carries about 3.5 credit cards. I don't know how they did that statistics. Like, did they chop a credit card in half and said 3.5?
I think that might be that same family that has 2.5 children.
And the even more remarkable statistic is that 11% of Americans have 8 or more credit cards. You believe that?
Okay. No, that's really sobering. That's absolutely depressing.
I know. So here are the things that we are looking at. So the bottom line is when you're heading out the door and you have that fat wallet syndrome, you really need to make sure that you're not carrying your 8 credit cards or your 3 credit cards, and then you're sort of in a mode where you're going out to shop or buy items. I've always said to folks, take cash if you have it. Obviously, if you don't have it, then you're not going to be able to spend on anything. The big part of saving any type of amounts right now, money-wise, outside of clipping coupons, which are a great way to save money, don't get me wrong, but please look at your mortgage statement. Just see what you're spending, your average monthly mortgage payment, because I can guarantee you may be one of that 1.7 trillion Americans whose interest rate is 1% higher, if not 2 percentage points higher than what today's rates are being offered at. And those rates are being offered with wholesale lenders, not retail, not local banks. Places such as Mohsin Mortgage partnered with 30 wholesale lenders that watch the market daily that can offer you a rate that's going to save you $200 to $300. And if you happen to be one of those Americans who's carrying 3 credit cards or 8 credit cards, and you happen to have in some way based on the economy charged them up and need to pay them off, we can find a way logistically to see how we can pay off that high interest on those credit cards and pay off those balances get your mortgage refinanced, and have a lower payment by $600-700 a month, Bob.
Now, that kind of money sounds good, and it should to most people. 1-800-662-9550 is the number you want to write down right now. 1-800-662-9550 is the number for the Mohsin Mortgage Corporation, and you can get the personalized advice you need, because by no means is everybody's situation identical, and you may have very special needs, and that's what Sarah loves to do, to talk to people and help them with just those. Right, Sarah?
I absolutely do. I think that the biggest thing that I feel very blessed, Bob, just being in a position where I have great people calling. They've given me ideas on our programs. They've given me thoughts on how to present different ideas and give a little bit more information on other areas of finance, and especially love to be able to provide information as well, the right information, not to have folks be misled. And often enough you hear things in the media, I can't get financed because of the fact that the media is saying that there is no 90% financing or over 80% financing, that I can't afford to buy a home because I need to have 20% down, or I've moved jobs and therefore moving into a different position is going to affect whether I get qualified. There are many areas of financing that you cannot learn just through watching the news or watching just one program, because of the fact that every person has different needs. And when we work with these wholesale lenders, what happens is each one has different guidelines. So therefore, someone who may have a 640 score and may have been told by someone else or just through the news that you can't get financed is not getting the right information. We can offer you that information because we work with such a large group of lenders and still get you financed at a 640 score if you're not late on the mortgage, or maybe if you're late once on the mortgage. But the bottom line is, if you're employed and you've been there for 2 years, or if you're self-employed and you filed your tax returns, then we can offer you, a great program with great interest rates. And most importantly, we really don't work with the same types of guidelines like a local bank would ask for 80% financing. We go up to 90%, which simply means that we are able to give you a little bit more leeway and be a little bit more fair in regards to what the average American, just like you and I, have happening in their lives, which is we don't have 800 scores, and yes, we may have some credit card debt, but that does not mean that you don't have a right to buying a home, or getting refinanced.
Good point, average American. And I have a question for you, and that is, how do folks improve, transform their good credit score even higher and make it a great credit score?
I think what's great about what we do as well, Bob, is that you don't necessarily have to be that person who has like the worst credit score, and we're working to improve you to average. We have folks that have great scores that can be even greater. And I believe in excellence. I think that we all should strive towards doing the best that we can, and if not better, with the right tools and the guidance that anybody can offer who is in that field of work. And that's what we are. We're in the field of finance and education. Credit scores typically reflect certain things, certain patterns, what you've been spending on, how much you've been paying off, what you've been delinquent on, what you haven't been delinquent on. And a person who has 700 scores may not have a lot of high-end credit card balances. However, simple things can actually make a 700 score go up to 780. And those simple things just basically would require revolving debt. So if you do have a credit card that's a gas card, which is $500, then you may have brought it up to a $400 limit because of the fact that you travel a lot and you haven't paid attention to the fact that you haven't paid that amount off. Pay it off immediately. Every 30 days, just trigger that as a notification and automate that so that it is paid off on time. And certainly, you don't want to have your credit being pulled multiple times. When we pull credit, in which we offer that to our listeners, is to pull credit so that they can actually understand what's going on with their credit score and then decide on whether they want to move forward on purchasing a home or getting refinanced.
Yeah.
It's called a soft pull. So a soft pull protects you from a number of things. Our company does a soft pull, which means it protects you from your information being disclosed to multiple parties, which happens when you're online getting these so-called free credit reports, which I would literally, and I have said to folks, be very careful and not proceed in that direction because of the fact that that information can be sold, and then you're going to have multiple calls. Secondly, that free credit report that you have been given access to, there's nothing free about it. You're going to get multiple calls from telemarketers because that information has probably been sold multiple times.
It's a major industry.
It is. It's more of a lead generation tool. Thirdly, we pull the credit. There's a cost to us of, $25, which we don't charge you for it. We get that credit pull, and if you decide to move forward on financing, then we can use that with the lenders. So technically, you can't use those online reports. They're not even close to anything that lenders would be using to get you approved. So why do that and jeopardize your sort of safety on information when you don't need to? And folks that are looking at their 680 or 700 scores, they may have missed a payment or two on a credit card, and I see that happening because of their busy lives. I would recommend that they put everything on an automated setup so they don't have to worry. The big thing is you may actually have been an 800 score and you may have missed a mortgage payment, and that drops your score by 100 points, Bob.
No, that's one thing we want to avoid. And another thing I can think of that can help, it can happen in anyone's life. It's an innocent thing, but you may not get all of your bills. There may be one bill that just didn't get around to you, maybe wasn't delivered or lost in the mail, and then it's like, oh my gosh, does that affect anything? Everything is affected. You have to pay attention to your bills, and Sarah can help you make your corrections, and that's the important thing. It can be corrected. And once again, the number to call is 1-800-662-9550 for your personal advice. 1-800-662-9550 to find out where you stand in the world of mortgages. And it's a call worth making, Sarah. A program worth tuning in is this one at 11 tomorrow morning, the Thursday edition.
Stay well, Bob. Stay well, Boston.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.